started across Tennessee. I sat down with some voters to hear what they think about the big November election. After years of being on a court together, the Darby sisters prepare for the last year of playing side by side.
Here at McGee Tyson Airport, many fans have found their way to Knoxville despite a hurricane.
You may have gotten an alert yesterday. Well, police are still responding to a possible explosive device on Miners Avenue, prompting an evacuation. Thanks for joining us for UT Today. I'm Kyla Berry. We're following breaking news for you today. Police were called yesterday to a CMC recycling on Western Ave when employees found a suspicious box, 5x5 box that was smoking. Just a few moments ago, KPD confirmed it to be full of dynamite. Out of an abundance of caution, Western Avenue between Texas and Massachusetts are still closed and an evacuation request was put into place. As you can see on this map, officials are asking anyone in a 3,000-foot parameter to evacuate. The evacuation could be in place until tonight. An emergency shelter has been set up at the Jacob building for those in need. CAT and AMR are both helping with transportation. If you have any questions about this breaking news story, email us at tvcnews@utk.edu. Wednesday, another hurricane swept across Florida. Our Ansley Grayson joins us to explain why these hurricanes seem to be happening so often.
Thanks, Kyla. In the past month, we have seen 3 hurricanes in the Gulf, with 2 reaching major hurricane status. Milton, a Category 5, just hitting Florida yesterday, right after Category 4 Helene. A lot of people are wondering why there is so much activity, especially in the Gulf right now. We are in peak hurricane season at the moment. While hurricanes can occur any time of the year, most activity in the Gulf and Atlantic Basin are from June 1st through November. Right now, the ocean sea surface temperatures are at a record high, which warm water is fuel for tropical cyclones. These record highs impact our global weather in a big way because the ocean and the atmosphere exchange gases that determine how much heat or moisture the air can hold. But these catastrophic hurricanes and climate events are linked to climate oscillations such as the ENSO or the El Nino Southern Oscillation. This oscillation goes through 2 to 7 year cycles occurring every 9 to 12 months within the cycle. We were in an El Nino where the trade winds weaken and warm water is pushed to the east, leading to more hurricanes in the Pacific, but creating too much wind shear in the Gulf, resulting in greater atmospheric stability. Right now, we are in a neutral ENSO, but transitioning into a La Nina, where the trade winds are stronger and the jet stream is pushed northward. This pushes warm water up into the Gulf and cold water to the Pacific, creating a more severe hurricane season due to the decrease in atmospheric stability and decrease in wind shear, which is needed for hurricanes. So the combination of record high temps, little wind shear, and unstable atmospheric conditions are why this hurricane season in the Gulf has been so severe. Stay tuned for a look at what this weekend's forecast will look like with your Vols 4-day forecast.
Thanks, Anley. Not even 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene hit East Tennessee and North Carolina, Hurricane Milton made landfall this week. Our Grayson Thatcher was at McGee Tyson to talk to travelers about how the weather affected their trip for the game tomorrow.
While several direct flights from Florida airports have been canceled, that hasn't stopped fans from finding their way to Knoxville. With the rivalry dating back to 1916, this will be the 55th game between the Vols and the Gators.
Big SEC rival game. Looking forward to it. Sets it up for the Alabama game next week.
Florida fans are making sure they can be there for the game.
It feels a little bit like homecoming, you know? It's always fun to see people who share that kind of community outside of Florida.
This is the first matchup between the teams after both states have faced tragedy. Many in East Tennessee are cleaning up from Hurricane Helene. And now in Florida, many are seeing the damage after Hurricane Milton. Some homes destroyed and streets flooded.
I think it might have some extra importance because I think Florida needs a little bit of something to cheer for right now. So I think the game could be something that would really give them a rallying cry.
Some fans chose to come to Knoxville early. One man lives in the Tampa area and flew into town Monday night ahead of Milton.
Felt a lot better being here than riding out the storm, even though lots of people stayed. I just felt more comfortable getting out of the way.
But a hurricane won't stop the third Saturday in September,
I think it'll be a lot of Florida fans here.
cheering on their favorite teams.
I think anytime you can find a way to bring people together when you might otherwise be struggling is important.
In Knoxville, Grayson Thatcher, Vol News.
Teamed up with Second Harvest Food Bank to encourage his fans to donate food and water to their community. Alexi was out there throughout the day. The organization hosted a drive-through donation drop-off at Westtown Mall today from sunrise to sunset. Folks brought tons of food and bottled water for flood victims here in East Tennessee and Western North Carolina. Morgan's mom told us about how badly Morgan wanted to help his own community.
Morgan called me and he's like, "Mom, what can we do? We've got to do more." Our hearts were just broken to see the historic devastation that has taken place in East Tennessee.
Morgan himself even made an appearance earlier this morning to volunteer and visit some fans, along with Theo Vaughn and Tennessee baseball coach Tony Vitello. You might have also caught the baseball players out there all day, loading trucks and directing traffic. So amazing to see these guys come out to serve their community.
The baseballs weren't only helping the Morgan Wallen Foundation, they also made a point to go into the impacted communities. Take a look at this. The UT baseball team was out helping with cleanup in Greene County. We got these photos and videos from the UT baseball team after they were up in Greenville helping repair and clean homes destroyed by flooding. Last week was the last week to register to vote, and students are now preparing to vote. Sydney Brackett keeps us updated on this election. Sydney.
Yes, thank you, Kyla. 41 million new voters are eligible to vote in this year's election. However, only 46% of ages 18 to 14 are registered to vote in the United States currently. Of this 46%, only 72% say they plan on voting. Okay. Wait, go forward. Million new voters are eligible to vote in this year's election. However, only 46% of ages 14 to 24 are registered in the United States currently. Of this 46%, only 72 say they actually plan on voting. However, this number has increased from 68% since Kamala Harris has entered the race. There are only 8 states that have a higher voter registration turnout than in 2020, and Tennessee is among them. The others include Texas, Massachusetts, Nevada, Kansas, West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Michigan. Harris is also winning the popular vote among ages 18 to 24, with 46% to Donald Trump's 29%. The younger generation is also showing they care about different issues than other generations. Studies show climate change is at the top of their priority list, with 38% voting this is the issue they care most about. Other issues they see important are abortion, education, healthcare, and gun violence prevention. During every presidential election, the University of Tennessee competes against the University of Florida to see who can have the most students registered to vote. This year, there is an additional sign-up bonus for signing up for election reminders. Vols Vote member Sophie Mylan tells us how.
This year there's an additional bonus of signing up for election reminders, and you can do this through navigating through your Canvas module. You can also do it by visiting the Vols Vote website.
UT is currently behind Florida in the competition with only 984 registered voters to Florida's 1,648. Great question, Kyla. To join and help UT beat the Gators, visit volsvote.utk.edu.
Thanks, Sydney. Register and help us beat the Gators before we beat them in football tomorrow. Speaking of registering to vote, I got to sit down with 2 registered student voters to find out what voting means to them.
Out there and make a difference, and if you want change in your country, it's necessary for you to vote.
The 2024 presidential election will bring in many new voters.
Since I haven't voted before, they have to see me in person the first time I vote.
Two of these voters are Layla Glover and Maddie Thomas. They'll be heading to Nashville and Philadelphia to cast their votes.
Go home to vote. I'm from Nashville, the Nashville area.
They know their one vote can determine their future as they near graduation.
I've been told by just like my parents and other people around me that are older that our generation is going to be the ones that are determining the next couple years.
For months, Glover and Thomas have done their research on both the Democratic and Republican Party.
By having basic knowledge of what's going on with the two candidates that are going now, and I've been watching the debates.
All aimed at making their voice heard.
Put my opinion where it mattered in that point in time.
For the first time by voting in the presidential election.
85.
In Knoxville, Kyla Berry, Vol News. To be prepared for Election Day, make sure you know where your polling location is by visiting vote.gov. If you have any questions about voting or the upcoming election, email us at volnews@utk.edu and we will ask the university political experts. And now Grayson Thatcher joins us to talk all about the flagship address. Grayson, what did you learn?
That's right. So it's the flagship scholarship. So across East Tennessee, they just expanded to 14 more high schools where students who are in those high schools will be able to go to UT once they are enrolled for free.
Kelsey Moore grew up watching the Volunteers with her dad.
And I just started watching UT with him, watching the basketball team, and then my senior year I was like, okay, I might want to experience this.
UT is now expanding that help to 14 more high schools in Tennessee, lifting the financial burden for many rural students.
I'm gonna have to do A, B, and C, everything under the sun just to cover tuition. But then when I seen that congratulations email, it was like set. It was like, okay, I'm going to UT.
It's called the Flagship Scholarship, and when combined with the Hope Scholarship, it covers tuition and mandatory fees.
We're eliminating one financial barrier for them. They're completing their degrees and they're heading back into their communities or other communities to impact state needs and nationally.
UT is now expanding that help to 14 more high schools in Tennessee, lifting that financial burden for many rural students. In East Tennessee, that list includes Bledsoe County, Cocke County, Cosby, Hancock County, Oneida, and Scott County high schools.
This access provides us an opportunity to go into those more rural, economically disadvantaged counties and serve a broader population.
There are currently 700 flagship scholarship students across Tennessee, including more.
I was just so excited because it was just like I've never, I guess, experienced anything like that. Like I just got my first big scholarship. I don't have to worry about tuition. I don't have to worry about A, B, and C because all other schools I had to worry about that. Like
graduates of these high schools will automatically get the scholarship after being admitted and enrolled at the university.
Once you have all that worry and all that doubt about how you're going to get through college, it doesn't really make your experience as memorable as you would want it to. But then like when you see that flagship email come through to you and it's just like you can just breathe.
In Knoxville, Grayson Thatcher, Vol News.
The addition of these 14 more high schools now totals the state of Tennessee to have 52 flagship high schools. So again, any of these students that attend this high school, once they are admitted and enrolled at UTK, go for free.
Wow, it just seems like Rocky Top keeps giving, especially to the ones in the local community. Tennessee loses on the road at Arkansas. What happened? And WNBA finals are in full swing. Will the Liberty take home their first ring? We've got it all right here coming up.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
It's been a
Hi,
rough
I'm
week,
Smokey
let me
Bear,
tell
and I
ya.
made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again, then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
The University of Tennessee is on the rise, lighting the way in everything we do, from theater to supply chain management to advanced materials, creating leaders in the field, on the field, and in every field. The best way to rise is to lift others up and reach for the summit together. It takes each one of us giving our all. It takes a volunteer.
Welcome back to Vol News. It's been a rough week in sports for the Vols. We head now to Alexi Cowan. Alexi, I know this past weekend was a rough one on the road.
Yeah, Kyla, this one hurt to watch this weekend. Let's recap. Number 4 Vols traveled to an unranked Arkansas team looking for a quick road win, but Tennessee's defense got a little frightened when Arkansas quarterback Talon Green and his guys got out there. The whole first half, only points on the board was a Razorback field goal. Super concerning, but Vols said, hey, we got a whole half left. We got time. Nico starts the third quarter with 2 touchdown handoffs to Dylan Sampson. Then Arkansas QB hurls a great pass, but gets knocked in the knees. You can see it right here, boom, shaking him up a little bit. Sending in reinforcements with QB Malachi Singleton. He said, yeah, I got this from here, bro. Gets it into the end zone. Vols looking for a final trick play, but Nico just makes this freshman rookie mistake, thinks he has more time, runs it out of bounds to end the game. Just an upsetting performance by Tennessee Saturday. Hosting Florida tomorrow, they've got a lot of making up to do. The famous Checker-Neyland game on the line. But something to brighten the mood a bit. If anyone's going to upset Bama, it might as well be a Tennessee team. Here's an iconic shot of downtown Nashville Saturday night, right after Vanderbilt upset Alabama at home. Taking those goalposts to the river. Looks kind of familiar, don't it? If Tennessee went down, at least another Tennessee team took Bama down with us. Basketball season is coming up next month, and this year's special for the Lady Vols, not only because of their new head coach, but because of the last year of a sister dynamic on that squad.
You might have heard the phrase, fight like sisters.
I've always been the book smart one. I think Tess can vouch for that one. She's always been the outgoing. She can talk to a brick wall.
But these two are sisters, fighting like sisters towards one goal, a national title.
The sky's the limit for us. We want to go all the way.
Tess and Edie Darby are the first set of sisters on the Lady Vol basketball team. Tess is a grad student entering her last year of eligibility, and Edie is a junior. Born in West Tennessee, about 6 hours from Knoxville, Lady Vol basketball has been a tradition from the start.
Coming home from church on a Sunday afternoon, it was like, who can get to the TV fast enough to turn on a Lady Vols basketball game?
This is a championship set of sisters. They know what it's like to win it all because they won their state championship in high school, but they're ready to do it again.
And I feel like we have worked our butts off this summer trying to prove that. We want to be the hardest working team on the country and the hardest playing team on the country.
But this is their last chance to do it together, as this will be Tess's last year in a Lady Vol jersey.
I'm getting teary-eyed just even thinking that this is my last season. But just trying to enjoy, I mean, who thought I'd be in tears right here at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. Start official practice today.
A special season, no matter the outcome, because they will be together, side by side.
Our favorite saying is iron sharpens iron, and I think that speaks volumes just for the both of us and just seeing where we are now.
In Knoxville, Alexi Cowan, Vol News.
Game 1 of the WNBA Finals was last night. The Lynx taking the first win on the road in overtime, 95-93. Going to be an intense next couple games competing for that ring. The Liberty looking for their first ever championship title. That's all from my side of the field this week. Stay tuned next week when I sit down with Tennessee's very own Zakai Ziegler. Keep your head up, Vols. We still got a lot of football to play.
Thanks, Alexi. When we get back, it's finally spooky season, and you can get discounted tickets for some fall festivities. Did Helene make a big impact on...
Just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
The University of Tennessee is on the rise, lighting the way in everything we do, from theater to supply chain management to advanced materials, creating leaders in the field, on the field, and in every field. The best way to rise is to lift others up and reach for the summit together. It takes each one of us giving our all. It takes a volunteer.
Today is Friday, October the 11th, and this is your Vols 4-day forecast. Starting off this weekend, today the high is 74 with clear sunny skies and a breeze. And the low tonight is a chilly one at 44 degrees. Moving on to Saturday, the high is 76 with clear sunny skies and a low of 50 degrees. So if you're going to the game, you might want to layer up. Moving on to Sunday, the high is warming up just a little bit to 80 with clear sunny skies and a slight breeze. But just as we warm up a bit, we drop right back down to the low of 53, leading us into Monday with a chillier high of 68 and a low of 44. The rest of the week is looking pretty clear with the temps hanging around the 60s during the day and chilly nights in the 40s. And that is all for your Vols 4-day forecast.
Thanks, Ainsley. It's October. That means we're officially in the spooky season. Maple Lane Farm is hosting their Haunted Corn Maze again this year on various dates in October, starting on the 18th. You can find out specific dates and get discounted tickets if you're a student through the Vol Connect app, though you'll have to pick up your actual ticket at the Student Union box office. The Market Squares Farmers Market is a common sight on Saturdays and Wednesdays downtown. But with Helen's devastation to much of East Tennessee, many people are wanting to know more about who was affected. Our Alexis Brunson went looking for answers to that question. Alexis, what exactly did you find out? What effect did Hurricane Helene have on these vendors?
Well, Kyla, many of the vendors of the farmers market actually considered themselves lucky as the effects were more positive than negative. While there were some reports of power outages for a couple of the vendors, many, especially the farmer, were actually happy to get the rain as they'd been without rain for weeks.
With the sun shining, a stark contrast to the previous weeks,
The Market Square Farmers Market is still in full swing and being enjoyed by many Knoxville residents like Madison Morgan.
It's amazing. There's so many local businesses and farms that I had no idea even existed until I started coming to the farmers market.
For many residents, the market is a staple in their routine.
And so I come every single week and do my little steps and get the bucks.
Though, it came into question a little bit when Hurricane Helene hit due to all the rain and flooding.
We did have markets canceled, but because they were getting more rain than what we were in our area.
However, many vendors at this market, like Mark Brown, owner and operator of Spring Oak Farm, say that the rain actually helped them.
Because we were in dire need of water. We were having to irrigate.
And set them up for success for at least a couple of weeks.
It actually brought the water table in the ground back up as well. So we're probably good now. We could go 2 weeks easy with no rain.
And while Helene is still fresh in many minds,
and I pray for a lot of the people that are east of here, because they've been devastated. Lots of them lost their lives.
The vendors of this market express a lot of gratitude. In Knoxville, Alexis Brunson, Fall News.
You can find the farmers market in Market Square on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Wow, where do we go if you want to find more information about the market or vendors there on that day?
Great question. You can find more information at nourishknoxville.org.
That's all we have for you today. Feel free to reach out to us at any time at tvcnews@utk.edu and follow us on Instagram at VolNewsTVC. Thank you so much for joining us, and go Vols!